I got back from Dubai carrying The Kite Runner with me, a book a friend recommended for its intricate and heartbreaking story about two boys growing up in the same household, bonded by love, but divided by class. And so the story begins in their childhood in 1970s Kabul. We met Amir and Hassan. Amir is a privileged Pashtun, sensitive, intelligent, the son of a wealthy businessman. Hassan, on the other hand, is a Hazara, a historically persecuted ethnic group in Afghanistan, and the son of Amir's servant. And yet, these two boys grew up side by side, inseparable in the most unequal of friendships. Amir, our narrator, is, well, complicated. He's gifted, especially in storytelling, but also deeply insecure. I found myself starting to really dislike him because he was just so selfish. You could feel his envy every time Baba, his father, showed kindness towards his son. And then there's Hassan, very sweet, very loyal, endlessly giving, always taking Amir's cruelty with grace, always showing up for him. It was so painful to read how he embraced his class difference with Amir, even if they have this very strong brotherhood, this very strong friendship outside of everything. And then there's Asaf, our main antagonist. He was cruel, entitled, and violent, personifying racism and evil. The kind of character that was just so heartless. All spikes, no tenderness. Then comes the kite running competition, a pivotal moment in our story. Amir is desperate to win, believing it will finally make Baba proud. And he does win, but the cost is unbearable. He witnesses this horrific act, a moment that really shattered me. Not just a reader, but just shattered my belief of innocence and their relationship forever. I had to stop. I closed the book and went to the Richelieu Library, one of my favorite libraries in Paris. It's always packed with people, which is not a pro, but the architecture and just being surrounded by books just calms me down very much. I needed a breather badly, something light to distract myself from what just happened in the book. But as I flip through pages, just like how you mindlessly scroll through your phone to forget reality, the kite runner was calling back to me. So I returned to it, this time at the park, so I can hear the birds chirp that could somehow comfort me of the nightmares that I'm reading. Don't get me wrong, the story is wonderfully written. It's just very distressing. So, I guess if you want to read The Kite Runner as well, just beware of certain triggers like violence and abuse. And so our story moved on. War broke out. Amir and Baba fled to the US and began a new life. It was bittersweet watching the two of them just rely on each other. They struggled, but there was a kind of peace too. Time passed and we see Baba eventually dies and Amir builds this life for himself. His dreams come true. He becomes a published novelist. But there was still the burden with the guilt that he carries from his childhood. And then the phone rings. Baba's old friend Rahim Khan asks Amir to return to Pakistan. There is a way to be good again, he says. That line stayed with me, much like how it stayed with Amir. It signaled that redemption is soon to be discovered. As I was cooking my version of chili that night, warm and comforting, I felt the weight of the story more than ever. I had food, a safe home, silence, and comfort. Meanwhile, Amir was walking through the ruins of post-war Pakistan. Then he meets Sorab, Hassan's son, and suddenly the story is spinning. Secrets unravel. Fruit bombs go out. Everything just comes out. The guilt, the truth, the connection between Amir and Hassan from all those years ago. I found myself crying again. The story was coming to an end. I woke up the next day and it was over. The book ended not in joy, but in hope, in possibilities, like a kite rising again. I had no expectations going into this book. I mean, I've heard of Khaled Hosseini, of course. He's everywhere, but I didn't realize how deeply he writes, how masterfully he tells a story that hurts, heals, and lingers. And so now I'm left wondering, what should I read next from him? 1,000 Splendid Suns and The Mountains Echoed? If you've read any of his works, let me know which one to start next. See you in the next book. Oh, and if you can also subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos, that would be wonderful too. Thank you.